All right, Dad, we are going to run through the states that are the worst to buy a car in right now. A couple criteria here, folks. The first thing is going to be inventory availability. Certain areas of the United States do not have a lot of new or used cars. Other areas have a plethora. We're about to break that down. The other is going to be the dock fee. There are many states that add on fees, dealers in many states that add on fees beyond just the dock fee. But the dock fee, somehow, some way, maybe you can explain this, Pops, has just become a fee that we all agree to pay. In some states, it's capped, like California, for example, is capped at $85. In other states, it appears to be uncapped. We've had people reporting over $1,000 dock fees plus processing fees in Florida, for example. So the criteria for today's worst states to buy a car: inventory availability, dock fees, and then maybe like a curveball that my dad will throw in there about a state that we know is very difficult to buy a car in. Does that sound good?
Okay, let's go.
All right, let's start with availability of inventory, Dad. This data comes from Cox Automotive, and it is fresh, man, very new. If you're watching this in April, May, or June, this is relevant. Florida, California, and southern states have the lowest supply of new cars, and I think you can extend that to used cars as well. Northern ones have the highest amount of inventory. So, for example, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and we're filming this around the time that those poor, terrible, tragic flooding rains have occurred in that area. Miami, Fort Lauderdale has the lowest inventory in the United States of new cars right now.
Yes.
And also probably of used cars, at least quality ones. Followed by Orlando, Daytona Beach. So Florida, Dad, let's just straighten away Florida because their dock fee is also capped at $1,000 there. Florida is the worst state to buy a car in 2023. Is that a fair statement?
If you're looking to buy a new car, the inventory shortages seem to be worse in Florida than in some other areas. And Florida is known to be, as we've dubbed it, the wild, wild west of dock fees. And I don't know that it's capped at $1,000. Most dealers charge between $899 and $999, but I believe there's dealers out there in Florida that have charged over that for the dealer dock fee. And the dock fee is usually explained as, well, that covers the expense of our non-revenue producing employees. Everybody pays it. You're going to pay it. I pay it when I buy the car from the dealership. So everybody has to pay that fee. And realistically, what a dock fee is, it's a profit center for the dealership. So if you're in Florida, and let's say there was inventory, a dealer could advertise a lower price, knowing that they're going to charge $1,000 dock fee. Well, that $1,000 is just profit. So you can say you're selling it lower and then charge that fee. So.
All right, good news, Pops. We have another promotion.
Yep, Spring 20 and Spring 100. Get 20% off on our coaches and data, or get $100 off on an extended warranty. Spring ahead, everybody.
CarEdge.com. Take advantage. Thanks. You just said if, Dad. That's what they do. There is no if. Okay, well, that's what they do in Florida. We get people from outside the state of Florida contacting us all the time asking, hey, should I buy this car? It's advertised super low price in Florida. No, the answer is just unequivocally no. If you're out of state, just not worth it, because you're just going to get hit when you ask for the OTD. It's going to be 15% more. Let's keep going here, Pops.
Yes.
Orlando, Daytona Beach, and Tampa also have low inventory. Here we go. Los Angeles, California, Dad. Low on inventory, says Cox Automotive. Interestingly, California, like we said before, caps their dock fees at $85. Yes. The issue I see with California, and the reason I would have it on this list of worst states to buy a car, the inventory shortages there, especially for hybrid vehicles, it's hard to even comprehend, Dad. Yeah. I don't know the time or place where RAV4 primes don't have a markup in LA. I think California is going to be, for a long time, one of the worst places to buy a car, specifically buying hybrid vehicles. Low inventory, doesn't matter that the dock fees cap. Dealers are just adding markups out the wazoo.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
That was technically correct, I suppose. And one of the other things that you have to realize about California, especially when it comes to hybrids, is, California traditionally has some of the highest gasoline prices in the country. So that makes hybrids and plug-in hybrids even more desirable. So dealerships charge an arm and a leg for them, and then there's always a shortage of them to begin with because people are trying to avoid that $5.50 a gallon for gasoline in California.
All right, another metro that has low inventory and high dock fees, Atlanta. The state of Georgia, Dad, has a cap of $545,
Yes.
on their dock fees. Georgia is a difficult place to get a deal done. Generally in the South, in the South in general, it is difficult to get deals done. Low inventory, high dock fees. I would list Georgia as another one of the worst states to try and get a car deal done right about now.
Well, with short inventory, absolutely. It's just common sense. Anywhere where there's strong demand and a low supply, you're going to overpay. Where there's a supply and limited demand, that's where you're going to be able to get your deals. And there are some parts of the country, the Northeast, the Midwest, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Detroit, Boston. Those are areas of the country where there's plenty of inventory for some brands, and a shortage of customers. So in those areas, you could actually get some good deals.
Denver is another metro that has a significant amount of inventory. Detroit is an interesting one, Dad. Inventory is quite high there, and a lot of folks in those areas, not everyone, but a lot of folks can get access to some of the X plan or Y plan or it's like the employee pricing because so many folks work for the major automakers in those areas. That's another reason why Detroit, Michigan, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota area, good areas to be a car buyer, and honestly could make sense. I talked to a used car dealer out of Minnesota recently that he has so many people that contacts him about purchasing out of state. He doesn't do out of state titling is his issue, but so many folks from out of state look to buy cars from those regions because that prices are actually lower. They're more negotiable, and it's not fake like Florida. and
I will tell you, there's an area, the Southwest, when we were in Phoenix, that's an area where a lot of out-of-towners like to buy cars because those cars traditionally haven't suffered under the severe weather conditions of snow and ice and salted roads. So the quality of the vehicle as far as roadworthiness seems to be better out there, and people are willing to pay a little bit more for those vehicles.
Honorary mention on worst states. I want to throw out Texas and New Jersey. Texas, because earlier this year or last year, we actually saw quite a few Texas dealers that were saying you have to finance through us or you can't purchase a vehicle. I think that's happened in a few other states, maybe Oklahoma as well, but Texas I know for sure. And New Jersey, Dad, dealers in New Jersey are just... Some of them are just tough, man. Some of them are really tough. That being said, we do have North Jersey, yeah. Yeah, North Jersey, closer you get to New York City.
Yes.
We do have our crowdsourced car dealer reviews, and like I've seen some New Jersey dealerships and some Texas dealerships have high reviews. There are good ones out there.
Yes, there are.
But those are two states that I think make honorary mention here.
Well, I won't disagree.